Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
No mystery. I like the idea. I don't know about the hype shot there, but I like the idea of trying to force out this steadfast presence, but now Skarner's coming down.
Yeah, Rogue Charge not quite going to land as far as the stun is concerned, but now we're looking for a crab as there's the flash in from Polo. Deadly Flourish comes down as well as Gumayushi, able to at least use the cleanse, but it doesn't do anything. That's going to be first blood going over to Polo as the bros strike first.
They
can't theoretically find out.
I was just curious if there was any additional context there. But I also don't associate him with the pick as Hype gets his full shot here.
Yeah, it's going to be working out. But you can see Gumayushi
Definitely
also
more top side here for the second objective. Second Grubs is where they have all their control and where they were playing around Owner's jungles. Here comes Keria.
Not going to quite find the target, and it's Gumayushi that's turned on here. Chains of Corruption are fantastic, though, as Hype just getting melted by this Varus. And Polu can't actually get in there to get the damage done. Faker turns up just to save his AD carry, and Closer not going to be able to do anything because there are 4 members of T1 in this bottom lane. The Impale and the Yone is delivered on a silver platter to this Varus.
It looked so good at the outset, but it does end up being T1 playing
Big ultimate. That is so good for Bro. Instead, it is T1 able to limp away now with a bit of a gold advantage there as well.
Commitment of Keria, their bottom side need to rush over there, maintain that control. They still have so many control wards as they're looking for an angle.
I think Hype is probably dead, ladies and gentlemen. As the Impale comes through, he had nothing that he could do about that situation whatsoever.
And there's just, there's a control ward there to the top side. They say, this is mine for free.
Yep, and that's going to be Feats of Strength there as well. So Feats of Warfare picked up, and immediately afterwards they lock down the upgraded shoes. As you can see there, they had 5 ready. Faker doesn't exactly have much ready for this one, though, as the ulti from Closer is decent. They get the knock-up on the Skarner, but they're too tanky. There's not enough damage here for Bro, and they're unable to get either of the kills.
Yeah, they really want that kill so badly. Faker's very low, doesn't have his flash anymore. And they're going to maybe have to settle for trying to siege this turret, but I think even that, trying to rush it down.
Yeah, teleport back in from Morgan as Faker gets back towards the top side, has that health bar well and truly replenished.
Yeah, first brick less relevant since Feats of Strength are already over. So the race in itself not as important as it.
As that Harpoon managing to thread the needle there was quite nice from Morgan. As Ona comes in, picks up Polu, takes down the turret. And now it's Faker that could be in trouble. Closer now just flashing for it. Winter's Wrath comes down. I don't think the GOAT's going to be escaping from that one. And meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Doran is melting. Morgan would have really loved to have his flash back available, but he does not because Doran put on that pressure before, so he will survive. And Hyman gives him the extra movement speed so he can make his way out. Morgan in an uncomfortable spot here as Faker's going to turn up, and with Ona there as well, Bash Bros back at it again, pushes him into the gravity field. That's gorgeous play here from the T1 jungler, and Morgan nowhere to go. Decent little knock up there from Polo, but I just don't think they've got the follow-up. As meanwhile, Keria has discovered Humbug, and then he gets closed in on by the rest of T1. The level of coordination just so much higher here.
And T1 just have so much more. Speaking of Faker, we're going to go back to this, but Otacon is being taken alive, uncontested off of those kills here. So T1 are going to get that one. But anyways, Faker does end up getting collapsed on here. Not sure how Doran got...
He couldn't walk in case they were waiting, and then he would have just died. And so now should be an outer turret being picked up here by T1 in mid lane. Keria getting chased down by Closer, but I don't think he's too worried about it. And Onas, see when that second item is going to be coming in.
Free crash, no commit to riding the Herald, don't need to. And Hambach wants to maybe try to get an exit ult here, but he's not going to be able to find one. And he's just busy clearing all of these wards. Look at there's so many wards for T1 this whole game around the objective they want, but now that they have full control, they've got wards on top, bottom, mid, you name it. Morgan can't be here.
Yeah, there's the flash heroic charge. That'll set up the kill onto Morgan. He does manage to get an equalizer down, but it's just onto the minion wave. You really didn't think that Bro were going to be fighting for that one, but T1, they're going to be fighting. Turret is going to fall down, though, and that means that Ona is not going to be tanking up any damage at all. And T1, they got exactly what they came here for and more.
When you start winning fights off of the enemy team trying to clear your vision, that's how you know you're really in control as Faker.
Yeah,
really not.
Charmed up here. Fair bit of damage as Humbug, he's coming in as well. But remember, it's just a withdrawal that they're playing for, and they're not even going to get that.
Not even a flash.
Yeah, Ona coming on over, and he's going to be able to make it out. Humbug still wanting get this kill onto Faker.
With the slow lead is now turned into a 4,000 gold lead. The game was really close until it wasn't.
Yeah, and this is kind of been the woes of the bros. I think it's because
someone's trying to clear a ward. We've seen it already. You know, if you're trying to actually do your due diligence and get that vision back, that puts you in danger. I mean, this is obviously League of Legends 101, but T1, they're well versed, and they're going to do a Baron on spawn practically.
Yep, that's definitely the T1 way, as Glacial Prison is just thrown out for fun, but they avoid the ultimate from Carrier. Doran throws his down, though. Equalizer is decent, as Doran is just dancing around the front of the fight, but still it's going okay here for Bro. The curtains have been called, and Gumayusi is taking a lot of damage. Faker tanking up a lot of these bullets as well, as Morgan finally gets a kill in this fight. They will trade it for 2, though, as now Carrier going down low, and Closer is starting to pop off. The flash forward gets the knock-up, and Faker avoids the ulti, but Doran's completely out of mana. Still, it has to be a pop back of this Yone, and T1 somehow managing to walk away, as Hype kind of wishing he didn't have to reload the entire time, and Doran just murders him.
Okay, Faker will finally go down there, I think to a red buff, but I will give Faker credit for this. Going to guarantee their second Infernal Dragon and Infernal Soul point here, so in terms of what they got from it, it's definitely a success at the end of the day, even though it didn't look like it was one in the kill point. Carrier is rotating over. Yeah,
there's a potential window, but I think this is going to be a 50-50, and honestly, Owner is pretty good. Never mind, this is going down so low, it is just stolen. Highway robbery here by the bros. If you don't pay your taxes, they're just going to steal it.
There you go. They're going to get the empowered recalls here. Miscalculated because of that. It's really high on this Rumble, so they can actually quickly.
Polu, definitely the one that you want to get caught out because he has so much mobility. As Humbug finds the ulti onto Doran. There's the equalizer as well in the choke point. Still, Doran's able to do it, and in goes Owner once again. Somehow Polu finds everyone. Humbug stays alive, but the Rakan instantly murdered.
Closer did a huge amount of top inner.
Yeah, there's the ulti straight on to Doran. Out goes Closer, though, as Humbug looking to go aggressive as well. Owner moves in as the equalizer goes down and actually just destroys the Aurora. Once again, Owner is going to find Humbug, though, as Closer finding a massive angle, gets on top of Gumayusi. He threw down the ulti, but it didn't land onto the Yone. Still, Guma will survive, and Morgan is barbecuing the entire team. There's the 4th shot from Hype as he takes down Carrier. And now the bros might be able to get some meaningful damage onto this inhibitor turret.
I can hear Dagon from here. This team fighting comp is so difficult to execute, especially when you've got Stasis to deal with. You got Faker's TP coming in. They played it so well, and they're going to get more than that in. They're going to get this inhibitor. 30 seconds on Faker, and Bro looking for an angle to end here.
Oh no, Owner is just melting. Polu goes in, gets the knock-up. Still, Hype just doesn't quite have it, and Owner stays alive, able to actually get the kill onto Closer because he tanked the turret for about 6 million years.
Morgan's still going to get some value here in the mid lane. They're not going to find the end they were looking for. I think if they kill Owner or Guma there, they get it. As TP comes through from Doran. Morgan may die here. He doesn't get the turret either.
Yeah, Morgan is going to come in. There's the flash out from Morgan, but Doran still going to be able to find him. Slows him down momentarily here, but the harpoons land pretty well. Still Carrier walks so extraordinarily fast. Finally, that scrap shield does come in, and Doran just blows him up. The equalizer is going to be able to get some popcorn chicken, so I guess there's that. As Polu able to
drag in. The important thing is that Faker doesn't have teleport, and he's the one dealing with that top wave right now, so
that's with some control of a Dragon Pit. For the very first time this game, even when they took the Baron, they didn't manage to do that as equalizer to start the fight off as Gumayusi throws down the ulti, but he's immediately, never mind! He lives!
Okay, but he's basically dead. He's so low, he does not get hit by that final shot, but that should be enough here to start the Dragon off for Bro. Guma has to go back. He has to go back to full health, and someone is still going to have to deal with that.
Oh, he has an itchy trigger finger. You can feel it. Oh, you wants to equalize T1 as they're making their way in. Keeper's verdict is going to get them off the Baron, and now T1, they're going to say thanks for the leash. Equalizer finally going to go down as there's a Chains of Corruption. Everything coming out here. Humbug lands a decent ulti, but Carrier's already dead. Still, it's T1 that take down the Baron. Can they keep themselves alive, though? That's the big question. Hype is just trying to walk it off as the bullets stream in. They know the health bar is so incredibly low here as the flash out. Hype stays alive, and he may have just baited T1 into losing everything. Finally, Faker will find it, but is it actually going to be enough? Because I think Ona is just dead, and Closer, like you say, will re-kill this inhibitor and look to just take T1 out.
Oh man, bro, outplaying T1 on a Baron, and that is going to be them taking the upset win here in game 1.
The Baron for Nexus trade, ladies and gentlemen. A tale as old as time. Is Carrier going to try his very best to deny the end of the game? And he has baited Bro for a few moments still. That's going to be enough damage. Morgan and Closer get it done, and the Bros
T1 is very short range. It is very difficult to win from behind. It's very difficult to set up on objectives from behind.
Find hype with it. Not a lot of follow-up there, as we could see.
Fortunately not at level 1.
Yeah. That's all right, Polu just going to crash in. Level 2 gained by both teams, but Gumayusi going to have to cleanse off the Ignite, the flash forward, and they are gunning for him. There it goes. Carrier likely to be able to take down Hype here. Let's see whether they can actually get it done, and he does. Is a Shattering Strike going to be available? The answer is no. So a 1-for-1, both 80
Not
carries.
go over to Hype. And then here, you could have just walked away and used your range, but they get the flash out of Carrier just the same. As Doran gets a solo.
Yeah, Doran's just going to solo kill the Ambessa. Take this dragon as Doran moving on up towards the rest of his teammates. Some daggers are going to be landing here as the hot dog is still circling. But so is Carrier. This control ward going to be very important as he's able to at least front flip away.
Still has his unstoppable, or untargetable rather, if he wants to all in for it. For the 50-50, I don't advise it though.
Yeah, you can see Doran actually going to try and snip him. And we'll take a fair bit of damage here as Morgan on vision right now. We'll be able to clear that one out, but still, the rest probably for the best. And, okay, never mind. Goes inside the mist here as now some needlework comes out. Morgan still trying to dance around this one, does avoid a fair bit. And now the public execution going to come in. Doran could be in trouble. The crash down is beautiful, but still, Owner is going to turn up in the nick of time. And Polo is also going to bite the dust.
Remember,
let's just stop trying to fight in this lane, guys.
Yeah, no,
I mean, he's the reason why they were Kesper Cup champions this year. But
you
still, he might just get Caster Cursed out of this game. That is on us. That's our bad, ladies and gentlemen. We will take full responsibility. And I'm so sorry. T1 getting into positions earlier, being able to lock down all of the objectives. You can see 3 out of 3 grubs in the first pack so far. 2,000 gold the lead, and they took the first dragon. Nice little tank there by the little hot dog, as Closer taking a fair bit of damage here from Faker. And the dragon continuing to go down lower and lower. Humbug wanting to get in there, try and challenge his Hype now. Getting himself set up as now Closer's come on over. They're not going to find the dragon. Owner as well is going to get caught up in that Magna Storm, but Polo is now by himself. Faker looking to come over and try to assist as Closer is in trouble. Chain's going to connect, and it's a double just out of nowhere here for the Pantheon. Hype having to flash, and T1 just winning everywhere.
Yeah, I want everyone to take
back to Carrier if he finally is able to do so.
And Morgan won the 1v1 game, but this isn't the 1v1 game that we are playing here. Or sorry, not Morgan, Closer.
Yes.
Won the 1v1 game, but that's the only win they had, and then Faker picked up a second kill in that last fight. Now he's ahead as Hambach's trying to force.
Yeah, we're going to throw some daggers towards Carrier, who goes into Spider Form and then tries to get out, but that's going to deliver the kill over to Morgan. Closer looking for a charm, doesn't connect it onto Doran there.
That's how you use your side lane prio, I guess, is to TP down, force a fight, and grab a turret, as Doran will not be able to defend this. And if he tries to, I think he will regret it.
Yeah, well, he's going to try and come on over, of course. Gwen is immune sometimes, and Owner is just able to turn up at a moment's notice, still taking a lot of damage as Morgan trying to utilize that mobility to get himself out of there. The rest of T1 have moved over. The public execution going to be used as the 1v1 will be lost by Morgan because Owner is extraordinarily strong here. And I like that T1 just
has that ultimate, can join. Faker still had his TP. So even though they committed Closer there with the prio,
you know, get it again if this game continues the way that it's going.
The 1-in-3 Ambessa is still not a Jace, still a concern.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing that keeps coming back to bite us. It's now 1 versus 2, and Doran is pushing both of them away.
Getting a flash.
My god. Okay, fully stacks up that Q once again as the rest of the bros are coming on over. Carrier.
I don't think so, my man. I'm gonna press X to doubt.
Yeah, well, Humbug is at least waiting. Carrier gonna move over the ward here as we can see some daggers are gonna land, but Doran in the 1v1 feeling pretty good. Polu rotating over as well. At least this time Morgan doesn't die, but it is still going about the same direction as public execution going to be avoided there as now Doran gets into the mist, but so does Humbug, and the rest of T1 are going to show up. Here's the Grand Starfall as well as Ona is wanting to pick his poison. Choose who is going to be dying first. It will be the Neferi, his opposite number as the chains connect, and Faker is just on cleanup duty. Down goes the turret in the mid lane. There's at least something there for hype, but Polo is likely to die. Chainlash not going to come out again, but the charm is going to miss. And Closer, unfortunately, unable to find anything as the teleport in from Doran. Carrier with the flash execute as Closer looks to try and answer that one. And even if Carrier goes down, it is still fantastic here for T1. There's the Orb of Deception. That'll finish off the Spider as now Hype just trying to escape from the Gwen.
Yeah, chasing an Ezreal is always hard, but...
He does have flash, and he's walking into a lot of bad guys, so
yeah.
He's just not going to use it.
He might.
He might actually just use it here. There he goes. That was a Feather Storm from Gugushi as well, so not bad.
Sometimes you think your feathers are bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Or reach further.
Oh dear.
Fly further.
Well, Humbug is going to go untargetable for a few moments. Morgan's rotating over, though, and Ona may have overstepped here just a little bit. Magnustorm going to be invested. Shattering Strike comes down. Morgan gets in there now as Humbug still wanting to try and offer some of his damage. As Ona does have flash, does use it to get himself out, and that is going to separate Humbug from the rest of the players. Ona is just running them around the rift right now. The rest of T1 making their way in. The crashdown comes through, and Ona's going to go back in for the stun. Oh, they are so strong. The Pantheon will eventually go down, but now Faker turns up, and he has a public execution that he's picked up. Doesn't even need to use it. Man, Ona is so good at this game.
He's really good, and he's really ahead faster with plays like this. You are really starting to lose any semblance of control you once had.
And Morgan dashing around here towards the top side. Minute and a half on Mountain Soul as well, Wolf.
Yeah.
This composition lacks a true tank, but they'll probably have one as Carrier is just going to deny any option of escape, and down goes Humbug as well. He was pretty targetable there, as we could see.
With a Gwen with 6 scrubs, I think, bro, we're starting to think about their Game 3 draft.
Whoa, Vega almost finds the public execution onto Hype there, as this inner turret is not long for the world. T1 looking a little bit angry.
I mean, we might
here
be
in this game too.
Inhibitors here with the Gwen with 6 scrubs. You walk at the enemy, you charge at the enemy in this case, and this might be like the stacked waves that could start to threaten Nexus turrets. I mean, this is really huge here with all the Voidlings taking these out so fast. T1 may consider an end attempt. I mean, who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him?
So many Void Mites. That is absolutely absurd. So many doggos coming out of the fountain, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough. Bro just have no money. Look at these gold advantages. It's a 4,000 gold lead in the jungle.
Yeah, it's crazy. Humbug going to have to go untargetable. The waves are cleared, but so much damage has been done to the champions here, and now super minions are going to
Mountain Soul, and that should just be the end of the game.
Yeah, it's the experience that T1 has where they can judge this situation and say, all right, well, Mountain Soul is a guaranteed win. We're down 0-1 in this series. Yes, we're up a bajillion gold, but let's make sure that we do our due diligence here.
But T1 just going to take down the last remaining lane that exists in defense here for the bros.
When they have super minions in the base, they can start to actually push to end if, bro defend poorly.
Yep. And Doran is going to go a little bit far forward and will probably die. There he goes. That's a kill going over to Morgan. Still, the answer was almost there. Faker with the public execution up and available. But that's Bros just able to punish the top laner here of T1.
Small victory, a little bit less immune than he would have liked, I think, in that situation, but I think the thought process there is that if they spend everything on me, maybe we can follow up. Speaking of following up.
Yeah, public execution going to be used here onto Humbug, who, goes untargetable, but unfortunately will still just die in the air.
A little bit of a Chihuahua situation here.
Did not come through. Still, maybe T1 will then instead decide to win the game. True Shot Barrage going to come on down as now Polo setting up the defense.
TP for Doran.
Yeah, Closer actually spirit rushing forward, but that is into the blender. Carrier goes golden. Somehow he's got an arm guard. It's kind of ridiculous. As Polo's flashing away, Carrier just going to follow him. Owner able to push them all the way towards the fountain. Public execution used here from Morgan. He's trying to just get them away from his base. As finally the Pantheon goes down, but so does the Ambessa. and T1 now find themselves in a 3 versus 3. Hijack used here onto the Spirit Rush, and Humbug, what goes up must come down. And now T1 going to finish off game 2, and it is going to go the distance. Yes. It does offer you a fair bit of poke there as well, but it's a lot of dashy and a lot of Talia as an answer.
Yeah, the dashes are really good.
The mid lane. Yeah, this guy's pretty good at the Diego.
He's pretty good at a lot.
Whoa, there's the flash in. We saw Chovy do this yesterday. It's a decent seismic shove, but the flash is already down on Closer. And Faker looking to try and get out of there, but Ona's just going to grab the kill. That is a lot of damage from the turret, but Humbug, I don't think he's quite going to be able to buying some time, though, as Ona still on this. They have full information. There is a control ward in the back of this pit. Now Humbug looking to make his way in. No flash, remember, as the Weaver's Wall comes down, as that is just a steal, and Ona is just going to get wiped out. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, a little greedy
as
there.
Now Doran's in trouble as well. The Maiden. Is she going to be able to take him down? That's the question. Look at Morgan taking care of his Maiden. Absolutely beautiful stuff.
Farm that has to be picked up from Guma, which means it's a free lane for Hype in the bottom side of the map. Keria
going to connect here as Keria is going to find the flash, pushing Closer over. He's just going to flash his way out there. It's a great Cyclone here from Humbug, but no Heartbreaker available because Ona is just dead, and now it's Keria's turn to fall down the seismic shove. Here's Flash. Gumayusi takes down the Talia, and now he's on the offensive. Oh, the taunt not quite able to work there as Hype finds the Make It Rain, and Faker is now in the wrong spot. Even the Morning Mist to grab a bit of an assist for Morgan. That was an unintentional rhyme, but we love to see it. The Bros now just going to augment their Ocean Dragon.
Not necessarily consistent damage that you're going to have with this pick, and the oomph that you don't have with a pick like this or the Aphelios is over here. Morgan.
The Ghoulie Wall is just going to block out Doran completely, and now Morgan just trying to turn the fight onto Ona. And the hook going to come down to the mid lane as well. We are fighting everywhere. The Weaver's Wall brings Closer in as the culling going to be interrupted. Does nothing. Seismic shove pushes Guma back, but he's offering so much damage. Another double tap, and it was almost an anchor to the noggin, but instead the bullet takes him down.
Guma caught here in the mid lane, in the play, and I mean, Doran's attempt to look for something there with Owner is blocked by the Ghoulie Wall. Owner's forced to use his Heartbreak. Yeah. And Bro has been that trap game as well for many teams.
Oh yeah.
Genji, D+ in the past. That's why they have the nickname Kingslayer.
Well, there's an almost point blank Weaver's Wall as the Seismic Shove just going to push him over the rocks. And he does get a taunt. Faker able to flash his way out, but Polu turns up and just takes out the Gargoyle.
That's a third death here for Faker on this Galio, and he flashed as well. Man, this is starting to just be, we're getting close to the insurmountable lead level here for Bro. And remember, the Cole cashed in. It's a second kill for Hype. He picked up. He has the lead now as well, and Keria's in no man's land.
Yeah, well, he's looking for an angle. Depth charge onto Gumayusi. His Ona now having to get out of this bullet time. He goes back in because the hook lands once again, and Polu just turns and takes down Ona. Now Gumayusi having to deal with Morgan, but the Ghoulie Wall traps him in. He has a dash and a flash. He's able to get himself out. The Morgan says, no, you are going down. The Ghoulies are gonna get him.
Guma got ghoulied.
Oh no, there's no worse way to go.
Owner lost his flash.
Somehow made it to the top 8 at Worlds after being a 7th place team or something like that in the LCK. Of course, DRX then did it better, but this was the year before. But he was playing Camille, going like 0-3. He's 1-0-1 in this game, but going like 0-3 and then still winning the game by playing split push better. And he's doing it once again here on the Yorick.
Died, I guess, in replay, and then he printed against them here.
Well, I mean, you put in all of your work to try and take down the team that's in the top 3, and then you let it slip against the Bros. We've seen it so many times before, but that wasn't the reason why. It's just that DK just loses to T1. That's just how it goes. Ona going to come on over and smite away the blue buff. Nicely done.
I mean, they're going to get this turret here, and the Herald may not even necessarily need this charge for it, but they will use it just the same. I think they get a second, whichever way you slice it, as Doran's looking for a flank.
Oh, this just in, by the way. If the Bros do win this, we will actually have a call set up with Dagon as a hook. Going to connect it. There's the double knock up, the double shove as well, and Ona cannot do anything at all. Look at the position here from Polu as he's not even going down on these front lines as Morgan gets into the thick of things. Faker is going to get taken out. Another shove is going to connect as the health bars are low, but the Bros don't care. Doran able to get out of there with Gumayusi, but the rest of them are on the floor.
He's able to follow up so brilliantly on this setup here for Hambach. Faker gets isolated, and it's just an easy cleanup, and Closer can follow up from so far away, and he says that's another dead cow. Closer's having difficult to punish here. Owner has his flash and ult back up, but not going to be able to go in on this one. Too risky for Guma to dash through to try to punish. Hanbok going in, though.
Yeah, speaking of dashing through, Doran is going to be the one engaged on another seismic shove, going to connect this time. Carrier going to deliver a gargoyle to this fight. No knockups to come in, though, and the bullet time doing a lot of work. Carrier going to have to flash away. Hanbok going to get knocked up, though. Now it could be the turnaround as Hanbok going to get taken down. Gumyushi getting that kill is actually so huge as well, but he's now trapped in the ghoulie wall. And Owner looking for an opportunity. Seismic shove going to get heartbreaked. And bro, they do lose their jungler. They don't lose anyone else. However, T1, they keep everyone alive.
I mean, there's no jungler for this Infernal Soul, so T1 are interested in committing to this. Doran goes back, TP is back in at full health. They don't have vision, but they have the numbers advantage, and they think that's going to be enough.
Guma's very far behind. However, they don't spot him as he moves over. Hype going to be able to clear out some vision.
I don't think Bro should commit to this. They don't have ult on Misfortune. There's not a whole lot of damage here.
I mean, you don't have to go for this fight. Absolutely.
Just back away, bro. There is absolutely no reason to toss this in.
And that is going to be, in fact, bounty gold. Times as he can.
T1 have to come in and check. They have to come in. Doran's going to be the guy who comes over and checks. Dragon has not been started yet.
Yeah. Oh, back to come in from Faker. He's got teleport available. There's the flash pole as Polu now looking to lock down Owner. Hype moving on over, though. He's got a great position as Gumyushi with the culling, but they just take down the Viego, and Guma is below half health. Hype flashes for it. Guma's able to get out, but he's not doing any damage, and I say it and it's a lie. It's Morgan that takes him down, and now Doran and Faker against the world, and the world, ladies and gentlemen, is Bro.
And they're just going to walk down mid and end it. Who needs an Infernal Soul? Closer says, get off that Dragon, Hanbok. I don't need it.
Well, he's not able to wall Doran in, but I don't think this Scion is going to be able to stop. Never mind. That Scion can stop him. He just flashes on top of him, and he dies.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to defend even so, but that's a lot of damage gone. And
yeah, I don't think they win here. Yeah, I don't think they win here.
They're just going to pull back here and
buffing it all up. They've got so 49 stacks on those pedals. And what I want to talk about is the most important thing here for Bro, as Closer is just going to get picked off and destroyed. That is called a Fnatic Rush, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen this one before. And T1 are able to take down a very pivotal part of the Bros, so no Baron to be taken here.
I think Bro need to make a very decisive call here as to what they're going to do. Keria is unseen. I think Bro might actually just have to back out of here.
Well, they're just going to start the Baron. They have full information through the Bros. As there's the hook, bullet time going to come on through. It does so much damage, but now Carrier finds the backline. It's another headbutt onto Hype as they just take out the bottom lane. T1, they're really good at setting up for Barons. That has not changed, and they are going to be able to take this purple worm off the map.
I mean, T1 just straight up hide on bush. Kill Closer, go to Baron, and Bro, do not track Carrier. That's a play from Carrier there where if you're not aware where the Alistar is, you probably shouldn't try to channel like that. You probably shouldn't try to look for that freebie. Like, oh, they're all in the Baron pit. I'll just set up this cone. Because if Carrier shuts you down and dumps you into 5 T1 players, you're not going to have a good time. T1 now completely in control of the map here. There's so much standing gold you mentioned, plus bounties here.
Yeah.
And the gold lead is lost on the Baron.
People.
Just calling Misfortune before he even goes in.
And he knew, and then just calls the Baron. And so T1 now going to even things out. It's not completely even, but 3,000 gold at 33 minutes into the game means basically nothing. You can see the Bro hump, which was the gold graph, is going to take a little bit of a turn south here for T1, who continue to take down these turrets. 3,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play.
Well, Bro do have really good wave clear, and they have Infernal Soul, and they have Otacon Infernal Soul. So, you know, this is not going to be T1 just getting Baron and then getting a freebie win in terms of getting all these standing gold on the map. They got some of it.
Elder in 3 minutes.
Yeah, they got some of it. Elders in 3. The question is who can control vision before that Elder spawns. Things would look so different if explode T1, but they need to be so careful. Like, right now, pushing up this far when you don't know where anyone is scary!
Well, the flash out from the headbutt pole as the train comes through. It's blocked by Polo as this time Hype's position. is pretty good. Knock up onto a clone though, and now the re-engage for the bros. Seismic shove goes wide, but Doran's health bar is getting destroyed. And now Morgan looking to put up a ghoulie wall to stop T1's advance. Closer finds another seismic shove. Here are the knock-up Cyclone onto 3. Faker goes golden, but that's another follow-up on the CC. Doran staying alive, but it's the Viego starting to get some resets, and Faker looks for some knock-ups. The bullet time is gorgeous from Hype, and the bros, I think, have done it. Man, Hype was so patient, held it for the pristine moment, and it's only the GOAT left alive, and I think the only pleasure he'll have is watching his Nexus explode.
Yeah, the GOAT may bleed, but I don't think he can stop this push. Hype coming in, level 18, 4 items on the Misfortune. A late ultimate, but the one he was looking for, and T1 will finally fall in a grueling 3-game series.
First it was BNK, now it is the bros that have taken down T1. Nexus turrets falling, nothing Faker can do to stop the eventuality of the bro win. And
Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Coming down, he's had enough of this.
yep,
Troll Ward in the Tri-Brush.
Zeus has his flash up and available, but I think he's gonna have to use it. Equalizer goes down. Lucid's already used the ulti here, and Zeus in so much trouble. There's a heroic charge. He finds the wall, and just one little tap, and Shiu's able to lock down that kill.
Quite well by Lucid here in D+.
Yeah, really expertly done. So that's going to put them in about the same advantage as they were behind earlier on. But Peanut, as a response,
looks like it. Good for side lane.
Yep, seen a few different options, but that is an engage onto Beryl. And Beryl does the walk away strategy, the popular one. As now Viper could be in trouble, but the W does miss. True Shot Barrage connects onto Viper.
He would have died if that W hit.
Yeah, some good damage. Crash down to layer some CC onto Delight. Mystic Shock lands, and there is the kill for Lucid. This guy is everywhere this game.
Not 100% sure if they had vision there or not, but I don't think Delight should have gone in like that. Showmaker's going to get a second plate here as well, as Zeka is returning to lane.
Oh no, Beryl actually stopped Viper's back there as well.
Yeah, this is really uncomfortable. Lucid still here.
Oh no, the heroic charge, not going to be able to get a stun, but Lucid
Red buff
just needs to land one Q, and instead he just autos him to death. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, things are looking dire as well, but Showmaker's going to die in mid, so that's kill going over to Peanut.
It's into a grub take, but they won't be able to actually start that fight until Showmaker TP's in. He'll be up in 2 seconds here. There's the TP straight to the mid lane, and the fight will ensue.
Yep, there's the flash to get the heroic charge. Great knock up as well as Peanut goes untargetable. Steadfast presence, the Magnet Storm, everything thrown at this doggo, and he will be taken out. Now DK.
Shiu doesn't have teleport either.
All right, Zeus going to get discovered here. Lucid now able to move on forward. I don't think Zeus is going to get stunned, but he may get killed, which I think is worse. And there it is, Shiu picking up that kill. Lucid playing towards this Ambessa. She is going to be so scary later.
Trying to swap the lanes, but meant that this Rumble is now out of action for a little while, and Shiu is going to be faster to this objective.
Oh dear, there's the Flash Magnet Storm as Viper's going to have to flash. Chains of Corruption in response though as the Keeper's Verdict not going to find its mark. And now Delight gets his fangs into this rel. She's going to have to dash away as Lucid in so much trouble, but is at least able to get out.
Yeah, they ended up getting the engage on the Viper, but he has flash and the follow-up was much faster.
Oh, is it diving time?
It's going to be a turret time at least, and it also should lead to a second dragon here for Hanwha Life. Full of damage. And it's funny if we watch the replay, which I don't know if we will, but if we do, watching aiming in that situation, as soon as they turn, aiming is old.
Yeah, they don't want to give this up as there's a teleport in from Shiu looking for his angle. Lucid going to be able to lock down the Rift Herald, but now Shiu going to try and hold them in here. Hook going to go wide, but it looks like DK just happy to take their prize and leave. True Shot Barrage would have been 6 points in Australia, as Shiu does take some daggers from the dog, but they will just get out of the way of the barbecue and everything will be okay.
Well, they got the teleport out of Shiu, but Zeka also TP'd to join his teammates, so I feel like a big trade up here. And that bottom turret took some damage. Top is about to fall over, and mid, they can just drop the Herald here and guarantee it. D+ getting a ton out of this objective win all over the map.
Yeah, Beryl actually is going to drive it on over, as now Lucid looking for an angle, Hex flashing away. Of sort of unfair advantages when they do so, feeling the pressure from DK. We know that the gold lead is not really anything to worry about, but a lot of these item spikes that are starting to come in for DK have been scary, as now Lucid will be able to get his smite down on this Gromp. Peanut taking a bit of damage. It's Delight
here.
over, and there's a True Shot Barrage actually getting some value. There's the Public Execution missing, though. That could be a big deal as now Zeus gets in amongst it. That is a lot of damage potential as he throws down the ulti. Delight going to be the first to go down as Zeus has to flash to get out of the way. Chains of Corruption hold him in place for a little while, and DK, your health bars are getting low as in goes Peanut and Lucid. He's in trouble, picks up his buckler, gets the shield, but Zeus has already taken down the Rel. The rest of DK trying to chase after Peanut, but he is looking to try and get out of there.
Flash.
The Doggos block the Mystic shots, and aiming cannot catch up and take him down.
Yeah, he wrestle control away. That being said, Showmaker actually hasn't rejoined his team. Doesn't have TP to flank either.
There's so much on the table here as well because Ruinous Archon could be really important, especially for HLE who have 2 of these dragons already locked down.
Showmaker just can't get in.
Yeah, has been started up.
He's gonna back and TP. It's so slow though.
Yep, and you can see Shu, he's already made it in. Zeka on a ward, it will be clearing that one out as there is the Keeper's Verdict. It gets rid of the Nautilus, and that's the Poppy that locks down the Cloud Drake, sorry. Zeus, Public Execution going to be used on top of him. The Equalizer is avoided entirely. Delight walking his way back in as HLE is standing their ground. Now Peanut looking for an opportunity, but the flash out from Shiu keeps him healthy. A 1-for-1 trade, but DK deny the dragon. Gets rid of the Nautilus, but Chains of Corruption are going to hold Lucid in place.
I don't know if they'll be able to Otacon off this, but they can certainly start it and force a reaction. Zeus is coming down. He didn't have TP, but he's going to walk his way over.
This is like 2.5 items done for aiming. That extra BF sword adding some oomph. As now Shiu on a flank angle. It's a beautiful one as well as Beryl wanting any sort of Magna Storm he can find. Banana Brush certainly working out, but out goes Peanut and the Public Execution as they dive on top of Zeka, and he's eliminated in an instant. The dragon just forgotten here as now Zeus is in trouble. Showmaker chases him down, and he may get a Viper for his troubles as well. He really wants to get on top of him. There's the flash forward. The flash in answer from Viper is there, and now DK can just get themselves their prize. Delight looking for Showmaker as the hail of arrows is going to help take him down. True Shot Barrage, almost a 2-for-1 special there for aiming.
I mean, the craziest thing about all this, remember last time they tried to get Peanut, they ended up getting Delight instead. This time they get Peanut. I mean, I don't think his untargetable, his W was on cooldown, and he just doesn't go off a little bit. He's been always in top 3, of course, for a majority of that time as Zeka gets the charm.
That charm is going to connect. Very nicely done as Showmaker throws down the Emperor's Divide just to get himself out of here, but Peanut will always follow. Showmaker goes golden, avoids the Orb of Deception, but he's still going to be deceived. And we'll get eliminated here by Zeka. Very nicely played. That's a great pick. He might have teleport, but he's dead for a minute. Caster as well. Zeus hits like a truck. But DK, with aiming, will be able to get a lot of poke damage down onto HLE. Still a Baron down to 50%. Teleport to come in from the Ambessa. 28 seconds on Showmaker, remember. HLE are on the clock as there's the Keeper's Verdict. And they get rid of the Nautilus. Peanut goes untargetable, so they do get that off cooldown as Shiu still biding his time, waiting for his opportunity. And Lucid gonna get knocked up. They want to burst down this Baron as the Equalizer not exactly doing as much as it could. Delight goes in, but aiming goes out. And Zeus' time is just being eaten as Peanut will be able to execute Beryl. Zeka's in trouble though as Shiu chases him down. This is an absolute disaster across the rift as the True Shot Barrage tries to snipe Zeka and Peanut is looking to exit. The Baron is now forgotten. The Emperor's Divide does nothing.
But it's okay, keep pushing through. They don't have a numbers advantage, but they play the fight so much better. And the fact that Hanwha are both trying to hold the Baron and win the fight really backfires here. True Shot Barrage doesn't take Zeka.
Aiming is heading towards some more Gold King territory, Wolf.
Yeah, he's getting large again.
He really is. Currently 40 CS in advantage, or about that. And he's also 5-0-2. The Ezreal hasn't been the main character at all, but I swear he's probably got the most gold. As now Zeus could be in trouble. Empress Divide going to pull him back. And even though the Public Execution doesn't go down, the public didn't need to watch that. As there's another beautiful Magnet Storm being utilized by Beryl, aiming, standing his ground, will take down Delight here. As now Zeka just slammed into the wall and will be taken out. Oh, never mind, able to get over the wall, but still aiming despite being hit by the Q is still going to fall as Beryl just chasing Peanut out of there, and it just feels like this is done and dusted. Peanut piled in on by all of D+, and he's now just looking to get away, and Showmaker is not going to allow that. He's in fact flashing over piercing arrows because he may as well. Base going to get broken open. Shiu's doing the same thing on the top side. as Showmaker's also just going to use his Zhonya's to avoid that one. How many more options does he have to get out of the way of piercing arrows? That's the real question. The answer is it does not matter because the Nexus will go boom and D+, 1-0 in the series.
And even though it's to this type of lane can neutralize a little bit, but...
I mean, that confirms the Pantheon mid.
Yeah, that is Pantheon mid.
Okay, so D+ looking to now take down the rest of these grubs. Just pounces over the wall. The Unbound Soul is going to pull Zeka back, and it's Beryl that's actually out of position now. Does use the ult onto Zeka, and he still gets picked, even though the ult came through and the door was up. It doesn't matter. The flash not going to save him, and aiming not going to do anything here either.
That kill there as Lucid will be able to take this dragon on the other side because Peanut showed top side. He was on the other side of the map, and that's a big win here for D+. Bouncing back.
Yep, that has to happen. Still, Viper is going to survive. So that is okay. Xiu, cancels his own back. Does have his dominance back up again, though, as he's going to throw it down. But this time, the Glacial Prison will connect, and Peanut is able to take the kill.
The problem with playing the Renekton Nidalee
says, this is what you were doing, Lucid. Let me just come over and steal that from you.
There's that Pantheon TP.
Yeah. Teleport going to bring him in. There's the Glacial Prison, and Lucid not going to be able to do anything. The rest of HLE, they can just back away. It's highway robbery. And it's a Chemtech Soul! And there's the knock up there onto Xiu, who just gets himself out. And Zeus, just takes the top lane out of turret.
Thank you for the free money. And this is not really showcasing of his skill on the champion's hold-up. The lane is a bit deep.
Yeah, he is going to get the cast out. And here comes the Pantheon. Spear going to connect there as well as he looks to ult his way out. And it's not going to work.
Delight
now wanting to find a light as he's on the wrong side of the map. Teleport to come through from Xiu as he heads toward that top lane. But with the concussive blows stacked up, looks like aiming is going to be collecting himself a kill here. Honeyfruit almost actually consumed as the Rift Herald is going to be the consolation prize, or at least attempt.
Otherwise, we'll be happy to just sit Jax in the side lane and keep doing this.
Yeah, Xiu actually getting outplayed a bit in that particular trade, but he's got a kitty cat on its way up. Has another counter-strike here as there's the Dominus. Spear going to miss, but Lucid, he can just follow Leap Strike to get him over to Peanut, who's just a brick wall. Oh, no, Peanut! He just betrayed him!
I don't think so. In any world would I ever commit to this. They're going to try to push the bottom turret.
If this is a steal, by the way, it's feats of strength that come in at the same time. Here it comes. Peanut comes in! That's not going to be the steal, though, as now Lucid just trying to get out of there. Beryl stands beside his teammates, but in goes Zeus, immediately stunned. That's actually huge. And they all get out of the counter-strike. Never mind, he flashes in! There's a brilliant ultimate from Beryl, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. They trade 1-for-1 so far, but now the chain CC onto Showmaker. The answer onto Delight here is aiming is free-hitting. Xiu trying to stay alive as Zeka in a little bit of trouble. Aiming really wants to do it, and now Lucid piling in on top. Zeka, he unbound the soul, and now aiming dealing with the both of them. Oh man, this 3-for-3 so far. Could be more, but instead, they are just going to back away. It looks like the blue buff is going to go on over here. As a spear! Oh my goodness, Zeka. Zeka, you're crazy! Yeah, he picked it up! That's okay. Another spear going to come on through as DK just chasing after them. Now it's HLE with the vision advantage.
I don't know if they can actually force this. They're going to try.
Yeah, Gatling gun comes through as now Zeka unbinds the soul once again. These health bars are so low! Just back away, just back away. Come on, come on. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
He's still holding it now, and nobody dies at the end of that fight. A ton of life getting a lot of map control out of it as Lucid's now in danger.
Yeah, Arctic Assault is fantastic, but Showmaker's dived on top of Zeka, finding an angle. That's actually going to distract them from Lucid. Great sidestep, but I think Showmaker is still dead, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, and never mind, the Unbound Soul, so it's a trade. 1-for-1 of mid laners, and now Zeus is on the wrong side of the fight. This game has gone weird. It's gone weird really fast. Where's my chess game and stuff from the last one?
I don't think we were kind of asking, should you play mid?
But also, like, can you counter Zeka's Yone with? They actually have no idea.
They just have to give this. I mean, if they knew, they'd have to give, but they don't know, and they're about to find out.
Yep. Here for HLE, DK sitting on a bit of extra money, as it looks like HLE standing on top of Vision. They're going to start off the Baron. Beryl moves in, tags Delight here momentarily, as now Lucid will show up as well. They get Crab Vision. As HLE wanting to back away from this, as Zeka with the ulti, going to dive towards Showmaker, who just stuns him up. Still, what goes out must come back.
I mean, this is just going to be a Jax pushing in the bottom lane, though. They are going to try to stall this out and then push through. And you could see she was trying to decide, like, do I stop the Jax or do I go to my team? Do I
just
do
take the dragon. Just take the dragon shield. I
love
love
that.
Okay, Delight. He's going to send Showmaker over. Great knock up with the Q onto the Pantheon, who's just going to get picked off.
Viper with the snipe at the end.
Oh, that's really going to open things up here for DK. And I think now the consideration is, do we just try and take a Constellation Dragon while they're taking down this Baron, or do we look to try and contest? Contesting is so difficult. Teleports up for Showmaker, though. Maybe they can buy 40 seconds. But I don't even think so. She is now diving forward. Speaking of diving forward, though, Zeka goes in, goes out, Lucid goes golden, and now Beryl with the door up, but they dive on top of aiming, and look at Viper huffing mad. Double kill comes out for Zeus for Zeka at the same time, never mind, as Shiu is just cut down where he stands, and it felt like a matter of time, and HLE, they waited for a lot of it. And then they just won a clean ace and are now looking to really solidify a lead.
For some reason, this game did not feel like it was 34 minutes long, but it certainly was. And HLE are just with the clean ace looking to end. Showmaker does have ult. He has respawn. He's not even level 16 yet, and he is going to be the one man to try to stop it all, to try to buy time for aiming for Shiu. I don't think alone he could do it. As he goes in alone,
it's a wave killer attempt, and it doesn't actually work. The minions, I don't think they care. Yeah, they're not going to go down. The cannon will survive, and Beryl, he will not. As Nexus turret's on the floor, and HLE not even bothering.
In to follow up from super far away when you have 3 amazing engaged tools, arguably 4 here when the Mega Gnar is up. I think Hanwha Life got everything they wanted. This feels like a draft, and Zeus is like kind of just, I think he's hoping he's going to get trades when the commitment comes in. As long as
that's an unstoppable onslaught, and that's just a solo kill for a Scion. So Wolf, what were you saying about what you were going to do when the
They're
playing both sides of the map, which is kind of crazy. Peanut is on the dragon right now. Lucid gonna move in and look to try and push him out. There's the Cyclone, but Showmaker's moving down.
Zeus is here.
Yeah, he's here as well, and oh my god, Peanut almost just dead. But Lucid is, who manages to get the dragon just before he dies, and now Zeus in a 1v1, and there was no Scion there. He's moving towards top lane, as now Beryl just wanders up and says, no, please don't kill my mid laner, and they are not going to listen. He gets the shield, bullet time comes through, takes down the Gnar, but it won't save the victor. And now Delight looking for even more. He's got the unbreakable will, and the seismic shove will get dodged. Beryl needs to dodge a few of these. Oh, nicely done. Wow, downloaded Viper and where he was going to throw those shots.
After the exchange,
yeah, Peanut actually managing to make it out there. It's kind of absurd. Didn't even have to flash.
I mean, Lucid also barely gets the dragon.
All right, Beryl is just going to look to turn something here as Viper going to get slowed down by the Solar Flare. Oh, Delight's will is relatively breakable as there's the Heartbreaker, and Beryl, sorry, Lucid not going to quite. Oh my god, Viper!
The snipe!
That is so unfair, and now Peanut can actually steal away this last one. Lucid doesn't have smite anymore, and now the train just crashes. It's a disaster for D+. The bullet time comes through, but the unbreakable will is there. Zeus gets that double hop, and they do manage to secure all the... Never mind, actually it's Chaos Storm that takes it down. Beryl's dead as well, as now DK just wanting to back away from the area. And Lucid not going to be allowed to do that. Shiu has a decent health bar, sidesteps the seismic shove, and I think he will be at least okay for the moment, but... I mean, Peanut hunting Beryl, as he will get the Q that he was looking for. Now Peanut looking to try and challenge for this Brambleback. It's okay. He's not going to be able to steal away the red, but the Solar Flare connects onto Delight. He's got the unbreakable will. He presses it a little bit late as now Showmaker from over the wall does throw down the gravity well, and in fact, Showmaker can't get in there. He doesn't need to though. Aiming's there. He's able to take down Peanut. Over the wall goes Lucid, and he does manage to get the kill onto the cow, but he's taken down immediately. That's a bit of a gap close from Zeka, but still, Showmaker taking so much damage.
He just walks it off. He doesn't even have to flash because Viper's got to reload and he's got to get the hell out of there. Aiming!
Yeah, has to flash. Has a very large
spacing well now, starting to put the pressure on this turret. They're winning both in this top lane solo in the 1v1, but are also getting the only spawned objective on the... Scientists are still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah. What did he mean by this?
Yeah.
Difficult one to ascertain.
He just wants to let him know he can win fights without his flash. And speaking of fights, we got one on our hands here. The spawn of the Herald is complete.
Yep. Zeus trying to get out of there. Solar Flare going to slow him down, but it looks like the Rift Herald will be the target here for DK. Peanut a little bit distracted by Beryl, so Lucid will be able to secure this. And Shiu off to the side. There's a Weaver's Wall. That is not going to really net them too much, apart from maybe a Scion, as Viper not going to get knocked up, but they do a lot of damage here to this theoretical tank on D+'s side.
D+ just need to evacuate here.
Oh god, Aiming taking a lot there, and doesn't have his flash available to get him out of that one.
Yeah, I think they would have held it there, but it was scary to think about what could have happened, especially with all the other follow-up engage they have. They're just going to clear this wave.
Yeah, Bullet Time
that's
going
enough
to help out for that one. To try and tank up this turret. Doesn't quite work, so
buying
Bullet Time now on cooldown.
Yeah, buying the turret a little bit of extra life there.
Oh, Zeus with movement speed, man. They're free shoes, but it certainly works. It's now Peanut gonna get zapped a little bit by the death rate. Zeus throwing down an ulti just to put the pressure on.
Yeah, earlier we were mentioning shoes, we couldn't buy them.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It is. It certainly is.
They really want to kill this turret, and this time Aiming doesn't have ult, so I think they might get it. Well, it'll take a little bit longer.
Deadly Flourish onto Barrel, so they'll need another wave.
Slight K-Ram and near K-Ram, not quite all, but most in mid at the moment. And finally they will get out this exchange and take the turret, which is not a surprise.
Arakan also up and available towards the bottom side. And HLE with a lot of control. He's going to transform, so they will have to be a little bit careful there. As you can see, Shiu wanting to set up for some sort of attempted flank. This Dragon is definitely going to HLE.
This is one of those attendances mandatory, like D+ have to be there to make sure they can't double objective, but they don't want to, they're not really going to try hard the class.
Yeah, I actually think that this was exactly what they needed to do. They had other things to study at the time. So go to class, study the other subject that you're really struggling with.
Do your homework, your math homework in chem.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just about attendance. You know, just got to hit those attendance numbers and you're still going to pass. It's fine. C's get degrees.
Because for HLE, I think with the Talia they have, they're like, Showmaker, his Rod of Ages is completed.
Zeus, he does have his Black Cleaver, so now he can actually duel this Scion and do maybe some damage. It's okay, that's a pole flashes. The immediate thumbs up. There's a Cyclone as well as Aiming. He's got a Bloodthirst, so he just needs to keep auto-attacking, and Peanut is going to get taken down. Oh, that was definitely a premature thumbs up, Therlite, unfortunately, as now it's his turn to go down. Some more resets coming through for Lucid as now he's looking to taxi his way over. The Barrel did die in the exchange.
I mean, D+ are feeling way better about the game state after this one.
I mean, it's still the turret going down, though.
The turret does go down, but hold up here, that Cleaver, and the miss.
No, this time Shiu is not going to be able to find it, but Aiming is going to turn up.
Aiming has ult, too.
Zeus, he's got Mega. Shiu, he's scary. He flashes, and the flash immediate response as double up going to connect. Boulder will be there as well, and now Lucid, like you say, is going to turn up as well. It takes a lot to try and take this guy down, but take him down they will. And Zeka decides, yes, perhaps I will get off the wall a little early.
Yeah, there's so many resources lead for Zeka, but Showmaker is still picking up money, and time is working for him and for D+'s composition. I'm not saying that scaling is a default win, but it's exactly where D+ want to be. Zeka sees it, but too late.
Lucid's going to stun him, and Zeka's flashing out of the way. Is it going to be enough, though? That's the question. The flash forward from Lucid to confirm the kill. And Showmaker is finally on the board. Does have, oh, never mind, he's not. It's just another kill going over to Lucid, and to be perfectly honest, that's exactly where the money needs to go.
It's okay. Showmaker's still going to get the turret.
Oh, we're just going to take
HLE were like, quick, cross map, what is there? Baron, go! And they're going to maybe get away with this because the rest of D+ are unaware and so far away. It's a Baron sneak here right after spawn. Okay, we do see some members of D+ coming up here to check. Shiu's here.
Yep, teleport at the ready here for Showmaker.
Zeka may just try to zone wall.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Rock's now on cooldown for a few moments, though. As Deadly Flourish is just going to go wide.
Zeka's ready for that wall.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Sure it goes. And so DK, Lucid can possibly get in there, but he decides not to. They give Soul Point away, and D+ couldn't find their window, but the curtain's still going to get cold. And that's the flick back onto the Scion. Shiu going to have to flash his way out of there. And now Peanut looks for the Cyclone angle. Takes a lot of damage here as now Lucid looking for it. They get the Solar Flare. The bullet time isn't great though, and Viper just eliminates Barrel. DK kind of falling up.
D+ going to try to take this trade for Baron. At least you have to assume so, right? They are seen, but HLE already get the Otacon. They have double teleport here. It's taking a while to take this one down though. Ooh, this is a risky situation for HLE.
It definitely is. There's a lot of damage on this Baron, as we can see.
Yeah, I don't think they can stop the Baron and get the Otacon.
Oh, okay. It's not really going down very fast. Never mind. So Aiming is now going to walk his way in. If they get a pick, could be a different story. Azayas doesn't find the ulti onto Shiu.
I mean, Otacon's taken D+. You know you have more members up here. You gotta find an angle. They're looking for it.
Well, it is Zayas that's Shiu's target, but instead he just goes into the middle of all of them and kind of just takes a lot of damage. Oh, Lucid was looking for it, but
for the fight, once you know they're not there, I think it was a bit of a mistake as HLE get the Otacon essentially for free here. Now they have their withdraws and choke point control for a potential Baron take of their own. Barrel?
Yeah, he's going to be the target. Headbutt Pulp will connect. He does get the Eclipse down, but it's not enough damage mitigation to get him out of dodge. The Solar Flare also goes entirely wide. And with that pick, HLE might just be...
But that's the only thing they're missing. Delight is in such good position. We saw Carrier, what he can do against the Misfortune already today.
Now, Lucid, can you actually steal this away? That's the question.
They'll make her a lot of damage.
Yep, Zayas gets over. Lucid's in the mist. But they just get off the Baron. She was just thrown around like a ragdoll. He'll be taken down into zombie mode. Some withdrawals are starting to come in as now Zayas could be in trouble. Aiming needs to find it. There's the cleanse flash though as he withdraws. Zayas now Peanut trying to fight him. The Bloodthirster is so good for Aiming, and Showmaker goes golden to buy time for Beryl to turn up the Death Ray to send Viper home. No Baron for HLE and DK.
Aiming is able to flash away from Peanut, take out the Gnar, and then kite away from this Wukong, getting the lifesteal just enough. Now HLE are back on the Baron.
Yep, and they are trying to burst it down this time around. Delight might just get destroyed, but the train has headed into the pit now. Can Lucid get at the answers? No. Peanut locks down the Baron. Aiming now 1 versus 3 again, but I don't like his odds this time around. The Gnar is massive as well from Zayas, and into the backline goes Peanut. He finds Showmaker. Shiu, he's pretty big, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take out HLE. This time, it's an ace, and this time HLE may have put themselves in a position to win this series.
I mean, it's not going to be the end of the game right now, but it certainly feels like it is. HLE win the fight, get the Baron, and Lucid was so close to so many resets in that pit. They went in, they full sent it, but they full sent it into a Taliyah Wukong composition. And Peanut didn't even use his ult. And it's an easy cleanup here for Hanwha Life. Now 6,000 gold ahead, and that lead is just going to get bigger. I think this mid inhibitor is not going to be along for much live for much longer. Zeka's also getting this top side and the wave prepped. They don't commit further.
Is doing exactly what we expect of him. 4, 1, and 7 on this Taliyah. The setups for HLE to make sure that these shoves are deadly has been working so well as Beryl is going to try and stop Delight. Oh my god, the bullet time is massive! They get themselves the Ocean Soul though, and now Showmaker's getting closed in on. There's a beautiful scoop once again onto Aiming. 1-2 and the Misfortune goes down. Beryl has nothing to offer. Showmaker is just walking away. Because he knows there's nothing he can do.
This comp is so good front to back, and I think this may be the beginning of the end of this game. Hanwha Life Esports, a hard-fought series. Showmaker, the only one who could try to clear. He doesn't have ult. And he's going for the champ, stop the wave, and he's down.
Oh my god, that was so much damage. The flick once again from Zeka is gorgeous. The Taliyah play today, just in general,